Hey, what's up shopkeepers, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we will talk to you guys about the 3 basic things about stream keeping. And for those who are just starting out, this video is for you. When we first start breeding streams, I actually want to encourage and recommend breeders to start off with basic streams such as the Red King Kong or even the Black King Kong. And the reason is because even though they are very simple streams, they actually help you to test in terms of your knowledge and your experience for stream breeding. So Black King Kong and Red King Kong are actually very suitable for beginners to actually start with stream breeding and to try to understand where you are actually coming from and where you can actually go. And the reason for that is because as we start off and as we start to progress, we can then move on to streams like PBL, and then as we progress onwards to even like Red Stardust, Black Stardust. So these are actually fairly easy keeping streams. However, at the very beginning of this journey, definitely you will have encountered a lot of setbacks, and that's the reason why starting off with basic streams, it's really nothing kind of like shameful, and I will actually encourage breeders to actually start with that. And having basic streams, there are a lot of very nice basic streams. Like even here you have the 4-band PBL, you have like Snow White, like over here we have like Santa. So these are very basic streams that you can actually have. Even PRL, these are all very basic streams. So start off with those streams, and then as we progress along, you can then move on and move forward to have other types of streams. So when you understand the whole concept of breeding the streams and understanding the water parameters and all that, then you'll be able to move on much simpler, and you'll be able to move on to nicer looking streams. And that will not break your piggy bank, because at the very beginning, if you start off with very expensive streams and they die, it's going to be very hard pain. I've been there before, and that's why I would really encourage breeders who are just starting out to actually look at some very basic streams. So the second point is actually to keep an open mind. And the reason why I'm saying this is because keeping an open mind to learn about things, for example, you want to learn about setting up a tank, how do you use this soil, how do you use that soil. I think keep an open mind. Do not be fixated on one particular concept, but to understand the rationale behind the concept. I'm just going to pan this camera around again to show you guys on an example. So over here you can actually see that, I'm just going to put this here. This is a ADA soy version 1, and this is Fluva. And then in the below tank, same ADA and Fluva. So why did I make such a change, or did I want to switch from ADA to Fluva? Actually, I did not want to switch or change. The whole concept here is that the crystals do very well in ADA soil. The Tigers and OEs do very well in the Fluva soil, and the reason is because of the pH. I mean, this is my observation, this is my practice. It doesn't mean that it will work for you. And one of the reasons why I did that is because I have a lot of tanks, and that's why we are able to actually change and switch out and do the test for 8 months before we actually do for many other tanks. And the thing is, when we have changes like this, if let's say you get a bad batch of soy, then you'll be able to switch them quite easily, or change or get another bag. And that's the reason why with having more tanks, I think that's one of the advantage. And for example, if you start off with 3 tanks, how long are you going to test on that batch of soy? It's going to take you probably a year or 2, and it's going to take some time. And that's the reason why I think for beginners to actually start off, instead of buying big bags of soy like 9 liters to save costs and things like that, you can actually get like 3 liters. They actually do have 3 liter or 3 kilogram of soy where you can actually buy them in small batches and actually put them and test it out. And then from there, you choose the ones that you actually like in terms of it works for you. Because there's no hard and fast rule saying that, okay, you have to use this, you have to do this, just because that everybody is using it. Do what you do and try it out yourself, and then decide on which are some of the things that you. So over here you can actually see that I have other breeding tanks as well. Today I'm just going to put in the offspring from the red fancy offsprings, from another tank over here to actually categorize them as one. And that's the reason why for methodology, the third thing is about change. Like if you want to change your soil, then you have to test it out before you do the actual change. And of course, water change methods, if you have been doing it for X amount of hours, you want to make sure that you want to make it quicker, then of course you have to do the change. And definitely over time you will understand that different kind of feed for different kind of streams, and then these are some of the things that you would like to actually change. I would like to give maybe just a small update over here. You can actually see I got some Nanostomus red pencil, and of course the latest Nanostomus Amaya. So these are the ones that's over here. They are very nice and they actually do school, so it's quite a bit. So you can see the difference between the Amaya one, which doesn't have the red black line, and then this is the red pencil, which is fairly interesting. And coming back to understanding the stream's behavior and understanding water parameters, you can actually see that over here we have streams in this community tank. So they do live quite simply together, in the sense that we don't even need to understand much about the water parameters. So we just stick to what we know, stability, and then the streams will do well themselves. So the whole idea here is really about understanding the water parameters and to keep the water well and make sure that the tanks are actually stabilized and very mature. So you can see over here a lot of these tanks, after they have been cycled, we actually take a long time to actually let them mature. Over here there's some examples over here. This 4 tank is actually cycling, and then we are just getting them to mature. So after cycling the tanks, we'll put the plants in there, and then I'll start putting the plants and the pots before we actually put the streams in there. So mature tank is it takes a much longer time to actually get it to mature, and it usually probably take about 2 to 3 months to actually get them to mature. But once it mature, the streams, once they go in, they can start breeding. As you can see over here, they can start breeding, and then it's fairly straightforward from there on. Because start with the basic streams, do the things up front, or the work up front, and then once you get the streams ready, the tanks ready, the water ready, once you put the streams in, then that's the end of the so-called your setting up of the tank. And the reason is because once you have put the streams into the tank, then definitely it is up to the stream to actually do their work. There is not much to do after, just regular upkeeping like water changes, feeding, and then getting them sufficient biofilm. So I think that's where your work kind of start and end, where you actually do all the work up front, and then you understand how to keep the basic streams. So once you are able to keep the basic streams, just remember the 4 very basic fundamentals of stream breeding is to make sure that you have to keep them alive first. After you keep them alive, then you are able to breed them. After you breed them, as you start to tier up, then you start to select them, and then you start to split the stream. So having that 4 concepts in mind, the 4 guiding principles, is very important, because it helps you understand and give you a high level overview of what is actually required in terms of what is needed for stream breeding. So the very first thing is, start off with simple streams. Alright, start off with simple streams, basic streams. You don't have to worry because they are all Caridina family. Start off with the basic streams, understand and truly understand their behavior, what are their water parameters, how they don't like fluctuation, and things like that. The second thing, be open-minded. So having an open mind, like I mentioned, is important so that you can understand where the concepts come from and the reasons behind the concepts. And the last thing is about change. If you have to change a soil type, change. Buy small bags of soil and then you use them, test them out before you make it like all the tanks, implement it throughout the tanks. Water change method, if today you are taking 3-4 hours, you want to streamline it so that you have more time, definitely look into where you can actually buy back time. And the last thing, biofilm food. So these two things I've mentioned in many of my videos. So these are very important things, especially biofilm, because biofilm is where the streams actually natural food. It's their natural food, so they actually need biofilm, and the tank surface area may not have sufficient biofilm, even mosses and things like that. That's why we always use supplementary biofilm for that. So I hope you guys have learned something from this video, and if you like this video, please remember to give a thumbs up, and for those who are new to this channel, please remember to subscribe, and until next time, peace out.